This video covers two things which are not covered in your textbook, both of which I think are important. The first one is standard form, which your book does address in one of the exercises, but not actually in the section's content. And the other one is another way of finding the equation of a line. So first I want to show you what standard form is. You've already learned slope-intercept form and point-slope form. There is yet another commonly used form for the equation of the line, and it's called standard form. And it looks like ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are numbers. So for example, here's a line written in standard form, 3x plus 4y equals 9. Or here's another one, 10x plus 8y equals 7. Most textbooks insist when you write an equation in standard form that a, b, and c are not fractions, so you have to use integers. Some books even insist that a, the first coefficient, is positive, and if it's not, you would have to multiply through everything by -1. So for example, if you had negative 5x plus 2y equals 7, you could rewrite that by multiplying everything by -1 as 5x minus 2y equals -7. So that's just what standard form looks like. Let's now get this out of here so I can show you a little bit more about it. So you might ask yourself, well, why? What's the point of standard form? Well, sometimes standard form is logical and it fits the situation. For example, if I told you that there were two prices for tickets to the movie, the adult price, let's call that A for adult. Let me write that in here. Suppose I told you that the adult price was $12.75 and the child's price was $6.75. And then I also told you that the total revenue collected on a certain day was $376. Then you could write an equation. Let me rewrite that. 1270, and then, okay, let me say a little more. X will be the number of adult tickets sold, and y is going to be the number of child tickets sold. Then the most logical way to write an equation to model this would be 12.75x plus 6.75y equals 376, because that's saying 1275 times the number of times the number of adult tickets plus 675 times the number of children's tickets should equal the total amount of revenue brought in. So again, that's just a reason why you might use standard form. Sometimes it's the most logical choice given the situation. A little more about standard form. Another reason why you might choose standard form. It looks pretty. It just has a nice look to it with the variables on one side and the constant on the other. One caveat or downside to standard form, it doesn't reveal very much about the line. You can't look at it and immediately pick out the slope or the y-intercept. There are ways of doing it, but it's not so obvious as with the other forms we've looked at. Okay, now I'm going to show you an alternative to using point-slope form. So first, a little bit of review. If you need to find an equation through a given point with a given slope, the way we've done it so far is with point-slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So in this case, y minus, and then y1 is 7, equals m, that's 3/5, x minus x1, which is 5. And you're done if you can leave your answer in that form, but since I just introduced standard form, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to put that in standard form. So the first thing I would do is distribute the 3/5. So I'd get 3/5 x minus, and I chose this example to be somewhat convenient numerically. 3/5 times 5 is just 3. and then standard form, y equals 3/5 x, adding 7 to both sides, I get plus 4. And that's slope-intercept form. But I'm going to go even farther. I'm going to bring the 3/5 over to this side, negative 3/5 x plus y equals 4. And two things now that I mentioned in the prior screen. First, I'm going to multiply everything by 5. Negative 3x plus 5y equals 20, because that gets rid of the denominator. And then as the last step, I'm going to change the sign of every term. 3x minus 5y equals negative 20. Now it is worth checking if this point satisfies the equation. So 3 times 5 minus 5 times 7 is 15 minus 35, which is negative 20. And if you look carefully, this slope, 3/5, is revealed by looking at the opposite of a over b. So the opposite of 3 over negative 5 is actually positive 3/5. I didn't mention that in the prior screen, but that always works. Now I'm going to show you the same problem using a different approach. And this is to plug into slope-intercept form, which your book uses a plus bx. So y equals a plus, and we know that the slope is 3/5. So now it's just a matter of finding the starting value. So what I'm going to do, this is the different approach. I'm going to plug in a 7 for y, a plus 3/5, and a 5 for x. And then I'm going to solve for a. So 7 equals a plus, these cancel, 3, subtracting 3 from each side, 4 is a. And then realize you're not done, you got to then plug in that 4 for a, 4 plus 3/5 x, which should be the same thing I got on the prior screen. Let's see. Going back. Oops. I got 3/5 x plus 4. Oops, too far. And, well, I wrote it in the opposite order, but same thing. And again, just a quick review, how to put that in standard form. Bring the x term over to the same side as the y. Multiply everything by 5. And then multiply everything by negative 1. Okay, that's a repeat of what I did, but repetition is often useful. For your homework, use whichever method you'd like to find the equation of each line described here. But you do have to answer in standard form, and to receive credit on this homework assignment, you must show your work so I can see what you're doing. Please have that ready for class next time.